Welcome to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? And I'm not talking about some ancient gold coin locked away in a museum, but a simple 1969 quarter dollar that may have passed through thousands of hands without anyone noticing its hidden secret, a coin so ordinary at first glance that most people would spend it on a cup of coffee. Yet behind its worn surface could lie a story worth up to an astonishing $60 million, and the craziest part is this coin might still be out there, quietly waiting in someone's drawer, wallet, or forgotten jar, just waiting to be discovered by someone curious enough to look a little closer, because today we're diving deep into the mysterious and incredibly valuable 1969 quarter dollar from the United States, a coin that has stunned collectors, shocked experts, and created legends that still circulate in the numismatic world to this day. And before we go further, you're going to want to stick around, because the next coin I'll reveal after this is even more unbelievable and has a story that might genuinely blow your mind. But first, let's uncover why this 1969 quarter could change your life forever. Now, when we talk about the 1969 quarter dollar, we're stepping into a fascinating era of American coin production. A time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning technologies and experimenting with different processes. And as history has shown us again and again, whenever there is change, mistakes follow, and in the world of coin collecting, those mistakes can be worth fortunes. This particular year is especially interesting because of the potential for rare minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and even experimental compositions that were never meant to leave the mint. Imagine a scenario where a batch of coins was accidentally struck using a die that had slight misalignment, creating a doubling effect on the lettering or the image of George Washington. To the average person it might look like a slightly blurry coin, but to a collector, it's a jackpot waiting to happen. And some reports suggest that a few of these 1969 quarters may have been struck under unusual conditions that gave them unique characteristics, making them extremely rare and highly sought after. Now here's where things get even more interesting. There have been whispers in the collector community about a specific variety of the 1969 quarter that features a dramatic doubling on the obverse, particularly around the date and the word liberty, and coins like this, when authenticated and graded in high condition, can command insane prices at auctions. We're talking about numbers that make even seasoned collectors raise their eyebrows. And while $60 million might sound like something out of a movie, the truth is that in the world of rare coins, value is driven by rarity, condition, and demand. And when those three factors align perfectly, the sky is not the limit. It's just the beginning. Now imagine finding one of these coins in your own home, maybe in an old coin jar your grandparents left behind, or tucked away in a drawer you haven't opened in years. Most people wouldn't think twice about a 1969 quarter, they'd toss it into circulation without a second thought. But that's exactly what makes this so exciting. Because the opportunity is real, and it's hiding in plain sight. And if you're wondering how to identify one of these rare pieces, you need to start by examining the details very carefully. Look for any signs of doubling, unusual spacing in the lettering, or anything that looks slightly off compared to a standard quarter. Also pay attention to the mint mark, as certain mint locations can increase the rarity significantly. And of course, condition is everything. A coin that has been well preserved, with minimal wear and strong details, will always be more valuable than one that has been heavily circulated. But here's the twist that keeps collectors on edge. Some of these rare coins don't look dramatically different at first glance. Their differences are subtle, almost like a secret hidden in plain sight, which means the person holding it might not even realize what they have. And that's exactly why stories of incredible finds keep popping up, people discovering coins worth thousands or even millions in the most unexpected places. From garage sales to flea markets to old family collections, and it's these stories that fuel the excitement and keep the hunt alive, because every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. Now I know what you're thinking, could this really be true? Could a simple 1969 quarter actually be worth that much? And while not every coin from that year will have extraordinary value, the rare varieties absolutely can, and that's what makes this so thrilling, the possibility, the chance. The idea that something so small could have such a massive impact on your life, and this is exactly why collectors spend hours examining their coins, why they invest in magnifying glasses and reference books, because they know that one discovery can change everything. And here's something you need to remember, most people would spend this coin without realizing its fortune, they wouldn't look twice, they wouldn't question it, they'd just move on with their day, and that's why the opportunity still exists, because not everyone is paying attention, but you are, and that gives you an edge. Now before we move on, I want you to think about all the coins you've ever handled. How many of them did you actually inspect closely? How many did you just assume were ordinary? Because chances are, there could have been something special right under your nose, and that's exactly why you need to stay with me, because the next coin we're about to explore has an even more shocking story, one that takes everything you thought you knew about coin collecting and flips it upside down, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. Because if this 1969 quarter has already blown your mind, the next one will leave you questioning every coin you've ever seen, so keep watching, keep your curiosity alive, because the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and we're just getting started. Next, 1985 quarter dollar. This is the coin that proves even pocket change can rewrite your life. Because somewhere out there right now, possibly sitting unnoticed in a dusty drawer or mixed into everyday change, there exists a 1985 quarter dollar that collectors believe could reach an unbelievable $70 million under the right circumstances. And the wild part is most people who have handled this coin would never suspect anything unusual about it. They would glance at it, see the familiar image of George Washington, and move on without realizing they might have just held a life-changing treasure in their hands. But today we're diving into the hidden secrets behind this mysterious 1985 quarter, and why it has become one of the most talked about coins among serious collectors and treasure hunters alike. And if you thought the previous coin was shocking, this one takes things to a completely different level. So stay locked in, because the deeper we go, the more unbelievable this story becomes. Now, to understand why the 1985 quarter has captured so much attention, we need to step back into the mid-1980s, a time when the United States Mint was producing coins at a massive scale to meet the demands of a growing economy. Billions of quarters were struck during this period, flooding circulation and making most of them incredibly common. But as history has shown us time and time again, even in the largest production runs, mistakes can slip through, and those mistakes are where the real magic happens, because a single error, a tiny misalignment, or an unusual striking condition can transform an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. And that's exactly what experts believe happened with a small number of 1985 quarters. These coins are rumored to feature rare minting anomalies that set them apart from the standard issues, including dramatic off-center strikes where the design appears shifted, double die errors that create a ghost-like duplication of the text and images, and even experimental planchets that were never meant for circulation. Imagine a coin being struck on the wrong metal composition, giving it a slightly different weight or color, something so subtle that most people would overlook it, but to a trained eye, it's a clear sign of rarity, and coins like this don't just attract attention, they create bidding wars. Now here's where things get even more intense. There have been reports within collector circles of a specific 1985 p-quarter variety that exhibits an extreme doubling effect on both the obverse and reverse, with the date, lettering, and even parts of Washington's profile showing clear duplication, and when a coin like this is found in near-perfect condition, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, the kind of find that collectors dream about but rarely experience. And this is why the estimated value has reached such staggering levels, because rarity combined with condition and demand creates a perfect storm, and when that storm hits the auction floor, the results can be absolutely explosive. But here's the twist that makes this story even more exciting: many of these rare coins may still be out there, hidden in plain sight, because during the 1980s, coin collecting wasn't as widespread as it is today. People weren't scrutinizing their change the way they do now, which means countless coins from that era entered circulation without ever being examined closely, and that opens the door to the possibility that one of these incredibly valuable quarters could still be waiting to be discovered, maybe in an old piggy bank, a forgotten coin roll, or even in your own wallet right now. And that's what makes this so thrilling, the idea that anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon a fortune without even realizing it at first. Now if you're serious about finding one of these coins, you need to know what to look for. Start by checking the details carefully. Look for any signs of doubling, especially around the date and the inscriptions. Examine the edges for irregularities, and pay close attention to the overall alignment of the design. Anything that looks unusual or out of place could be a clue. And don't forget about condition, because a well-preserved coin will always command a higher value. But remember, even a circulated coin with a rare error can still be incredibly valuable. So never dismiss a coin just because it looks worn. And here's something that might surprise you. Some of the most valuable coins ever discovered were found by ordinary people who had no idea what they were looking for. They simply took the time to examine their change, and that's all it takes: a little curiosity, a bit of patience, and the willingness to look closer than everyone else, because while most people would spend this coin without a second thought, you now know better. You understand that hidden within the ordinary could be something extraordinary, and that knowledge alone puts you ahead of the crowd. Now think about this for a moment. How many 1985 quarters have passed through your hands over the years? How many times have you overlooked something that could have been valuable? Because the truth is, opportunities like this don't announce themselves. They hide, they blend in. They wait for someone observant enough to notice them, and that someone could be you. And that's why the hunt for rare coins is so addictive, because every coin you examine carries the potential for discovery, the possibility that you might uncover something that changes everything. And as we come to the end of this incredible journey through the story of the 1985 p-quarter, one thing becomes clear: the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, full of hidden treasures, and full of opportunities for those who are willing to look. And while not every coin will be worth millions, the ones that are can redefine what we think is possible. So the next time you receive change, don't just toss it aside, take a closer look, because you never know what you might find, and who knows, the next life-changing discovery could already be in your hands.